Chud the Builder got shot. Or should I say, I heard Chud the Builder shot himself. And then I heard Chud the Builder shot somebody else. And my first reaction was, who exactly is Chud the Builder? You see, I'm not up to date on all my current TikTokers, live streamers, and podcasters. So when I looked up Chud the Builder, I'm like, oh, I think I heard that dude. I saw that dude. He's a podcaster, right? But supposedly he said something racist. That's what I thought. But then I found out he was just racist, and his whole shtick was based on racism. And so my first thought was, oh, the Dr. Umar of white people. I thought I would just do an initial reaction to my thoughts on Chud the Builder shooting himself and putting himself in a position where he had to shoot someone else. Chud the Builder is an idiot. I don't know much about the dude, but if you're going to run around town and drop the N-word for the sake of his shock factor, eventually you're going to get what you got, and Chud Builder got what he got. And supposedly he runs around and he uses the N-words, and when dudes get angry with him, he says they're chimping out. Well, if you run around the United States, or anywhere for that matter, calling people the N-word and say they're chimping out, eventually somebody is going to physically attack you. It's just a numbers game. The more you do it, the more likely you have a chance of hitting the lottery. And Chud the Builder hit the lottery. And supposedly Chud the Builder kept his piece on him at all times. So everybody who knew Chud the Builder knew that Chud the Builder was strapped, and Chud the Builder was itching for someone to attack him so he can claim self-defense. I want you to share in the comments if you think Chud the Builder was defending himself and if he has a legitimate self-defense claim, or if Chud the Builder is in all likelihood going to get convicted for attempted unaliving someone who attacked him. The case, from what I can tell so far, is a questionable case. The dude who attacked him, the jury and the judge and the DA aren't going to be able to look past the fact that Chud the Builder was physically attacked first. Now, did Chud the Builder antagonize the dude? Sure, he did. But we all get antagonized every single day in our lives. That doesn't mean that we can react by physically attacking somebody just because someone said something that hurt your feelings. We still do have a right to free speech. Now, there's also not a right to stop somebody from doing what this dude did to Chud the Builder, and you having to accept your consequences. And the dude hit him, man. Chud the Builder pulled out his blaster and boom, 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 hit the dude, and then boom, hit himself. Now he's in a Tennessee jail fighting, and possibly going to be fighting some attempted murder charges. I don't know if he got bond yet. I didn't go research this case in detail. I wanted to give my raw, real, authentic response to the minute information that I do have about it. Chud the Builder goes around town calling people the N-word and calling them chimps, or they monkeying out, supposedly, is what he's telling people. The average person, the average black person, even if they don't like what he's saying, they might get upset, they might say something back, but they still have a lot to lose, so they're not going to physically attack Chud the Builder. But the longer you do something stupid, the bigger the chances of you getting a stupid result out of what you are doing that is completely foolish. What Chud was doing was just plain out dumb. This was bound to happen. Actually, I'm quite surprised that no one lost their life from this idiotic fool going around doing what he did just for a shock factor, just so we can all get our laughs onto it. I have never watched any of Chud's videos. I'm going to go watch them after this because I'm commenting on the dude, so I think I should have a better, idea of who I just commented on. So I'm going to go look him up. I know who Dr. Umar is, and my first reaction when I hear about Chud the Builders, I start thinking about Dr. Umar, and then I start thinking to myself, what if Chud the Builder and Dr. Umar are the same two racist idiots wearing a mask? In other words, what if it's an alien who wears the skin of Chud the Builder and the skin of Dr. Umar just to keep racism alive like the lizard people want to do? I don't know, man. That's just a crazy thought. But considering the fact that the United States government just released UFO and X-Files. Why not go ahead and talk about it, since the United States government doesn't think it's crazy that there are aliens? I don't never think it's crazy that they had aliens. Actually, a lot of people who I like and follow over the years have always blew their horn about the possibility of aliens and them having alien sightings, but they all were boom, 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 unalived. And I ain't talking about the scientists that just happened to. I'm talking about the ones way back in the day. But back to Chud the Racist, or Chud the Builder. If you think Chud the Builder is going to have a legitimate case for self-defense, please share in the comments. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm telling you, you can be a racist all you want. You have a right to be a racist in America. Dr. Umar's a racist, Chud the Builder's a racist, Al Sharpton's a racist. There's no shortage of racists in America. So that's not the issue. But when you go around antagonizing someone in places that you shouldn't be, just for the sake of getting clicks and views, and then you wind up in legal trouble, well, that's on you. You can't expect much sympathy from anybody. And I don't think Chud the Builder deserves no sympathy. What about the dude who actually attacked Chud the Builder? I believe if he physically attacked Chud the Builder, as much as I don't like what Chud the Builder's doing, you can't physically attack anyone if you don't like what they're saying. So the dude who attacked Chud the Builder, he should be charged with assault and battery, or whatever the charge is, where you hit somebody and, you know, physically attack them with your fist. You shouldn't do it, and so he needs to be charged with it. Fortunately for him, his charges ain't nowhere near as bad as Chud's, and I don't think the dude has any legal right to even sue Chud the Builder, considering he attacked Chud the Builder first. That being said, Chud the Builder is going to have a long road ahead of him for his own stupidity, and maybe he's going to get exactly what he wants. He's going to get a bunch more viral, moments because of this. I don't know. I'm sure he's a podcaster and streamer, so he probably has it all on film. So the whole thing's been filmed. Is it out there yet? I'm gonna have to go look. Why do we have to do stupid stuff for clicks? Shock value. It's just crazy, y'all. Racism is alive and well in America because the powers that be want racism to be alive and well in America. Even though racism in America is not exactly what they claim racism in America is. You got people like Dr. Umar and Chud the Builder, and there's no shortage of other people who are running around like some racist fools, causing a controversy and trouble when there doesn't need to be any. It's like, how do you navigate through it? The best way that I can say is to do your best to avoid trouble, to avoid foolishness, and to stay away from anything that's going to cause, something that can go down, such as boom, 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 or shooting. You want to try to do your best to avoid it. Sometimes you wind up in places where things happen. I recently went off on someone, road rage incident, and I regret it, but I did it. And that just goes to show you how quick it can happen. That's why we got to be mentally on our best behavior and mentally with our best ability, so we don't get called out and, caught up in something and our whole life's thrown off track. Next thing you know, you're in prison or you're injured or worse. And you're dealing with something that you really don't want to deal with, or you shouldn't have to deal with, because you let your emotions get involved. Road rage happens. Situations like somebody like Chud the Builder can come around poking their chest, and then you get offended and your emotions get involved. And when emotions get involved, logical thinking goes out the window. I had a dude bump into me while I was door dashing, literally bumped into me on purpose. And I told the dude, I said, man, what you doing, bro? A little Palestinian dude. And I said, what you doing, man? And he was looking for trouble. And when I did, he's like, oh, my friend, my bad, my sorry, I'm so sorry. Man, I'll bat you in your mouth, boy. That's what I told him. And he looked at me. I said, man, get out of here. And he walked away from me, And I'm saying, dude, he was probably about my age. We were both door dashing, and he was just pacing in the restaurant, talking crazy on the phone in his native language, like he was crazy, looking for trouble, probably talking about, boom, boom, unaliving some American, some white American. I'm standing right there, and he decides to bump into me, and he had the right one because he tucked his tail like a little punk, because he was a little punk, a little Palestinian punk. Now, do all people from Palestine, whoever, do that? I don't think so. But there's a mentality that goes with people. Chud the Builder is the type of person who has a mentality. And people who support him, in all likelihood, have a certain mentality. And the people who support Dr. Umar likely have a certain personality. And then there are people, like most of us, who are just normal. And we're just trying to avoid confrontation and trouble. But somehow or another, it's all around us. And we got to do our best to keep our composure. And that's not always easy. Anyway, that's my initial raw, real, and authentic reaction to what I heard about Chud the Builder. Share in the comments. Am I way off? Or am I just, my way into orbit with the aliens? Or am I onto something? Did I offend you? Welcome to the Pen and the Shank, the most unusual and unique crime and prison channel experience on YouTube. Give me a like and subscribe, and go check out this video. Go check out the library of my videos and help this small YouTube channel get going. Crime and prison.